And on the flip side of it, the part that I kind of didn't like was a little bit of that. I wasn't a huge fan of how it ended with the handshake. Um
Yeah,
I
yeah.
yeah, I kind of wanted more veracity from Roman. I kind of wanted him to be a full-blown asshole. Like I just was like craving that so bad, and it's like I understand the way the segment went and the way that it continued and ended,
Yeah.
like it made sense for Roman to be like that, but I feel like if people there are a lot of people who are not behind Cody winning, as I said. That
Those people.
segment didn't help. I feel I did with the people who already were like, yeah, no, I want to see Cody win. So if you already felt that way, you're completely on that. But Roman only had like two little remarks in there that were like spicy, but at the same time, not really, right? It was like,
Well,
oh, you want to
that's the
know what he
thing
said
that,
about you? And he's like,
yeah,
nothing, right? Which would have been great. But then he's like, well, maybe he talked about you to other guys, but he never talked about you with me. I'm like, why did you say that? Just like leave it at like the at that, that knife in the back of just like your dad never even talked about you. Just like leave
yeah.
it at that, because that hurts more than being like, oh, yeah, I mean, he might have said it to other people, like I felt like that was kind of an unnecessary part,
It's all
I
about
guess.
it's just I get why he did it, and I'm a huge fan of them making Dusty I would say a low key focal point in
Mm-hmm.
this storyline, and how they're doing it. It's not tarnishing his name, because like that's a cheap shot. That's easy. It's just
Yeah.
it's overdone, whatever. But if they're to the point where they're not going to say anything bad, and it's just like I can't, and they respect, and it's like, well, he did so much for us, but you, and that's the other layer to go into, and how to really dig the knife in there,
Yeah.
because that, like, I mean, if you've been a fan like us for a little bit, you know how influential Dusty was in NXT.
Mm-hmm.
Cody didn't go through NXT. Cody went to the indie scene and did the complete opposite of his dad. And, the father stuff and that personal element in the relate, like, to me, it connects because, my dad and I are like this. So
Mm-hmm.
anytime Cody comes on and, mentions that, whatever, like, it pulls the heartstrings of the viewer. And I'm not the only one here, viewing this storyline that has these feelings with their family and whatnot. So it's
Right.
like it's just an instant, like, I'm hooked immediately. It's like it's so good and so well done. I'm okay with them doing the handshake, because we got a lot of time before Mania to build this up. So like, let him not be an asshole now, and just let him be that like asshole right before, week before, to get all the heat, so that when he goes in, like, Roman is so hated, like getting more boos than he did in Dallas against Triple H at that Mania. Like, that's the type of heat level we want.
Well, and I think that you need it because this isn't a natural feud that just happened. It was kind of a forced feud, obviously, because Cody won the Royal Rumble. So I don't know that going in the direction of like, oh, these two guys, they just respect each other. There's just that mutual,
Mm-hmm.
respect there, and they have that connection with Dusty, and it's a handshake before and a handshake after. Like, no, that's not the type that we need for this match to be. It needs to be that Roman is the villain and we want to see Cody defeat him. So
Yeah.
I'm hopeful that over the next few weeks that we get more of that. I don't know how much they're going to intermingle because we know that Roman misses both shows consistently.
Yep.
But it would be nice if he showed up on Raw so that Cody doesn't have to keep going to SmackDown, because then you know what's going to happen on SmackDown because Cody's there for a reason. But yeah, I think that they did a great job, and I felt like we've given Roman his flowers so much when we've talked about him on here over the past several weeks. But I feel like that was such a good moment for Roman last night. That was so good, and it was just him. It was him talking and him not having any help from anybody else. There was no one chirping in for him. He didn't even really get a whole lot from Cody. Cody started, but he didn't give a jab. He didn't interrupt him. He didn't do really anything. And that just shows how far he's come. And I was just sitting there just like, I was in awe of the entire thing. Obviously, we've said it about Cody numerous times since he's been back. But hats off to Roman, man. He is. I was just sitting there and I kept thinking, I was like, this is exactly why I love heels. This is why I love heels. I mean, granted, I love Cody, and Cody's the biggest baby face. I understand. But like, I just have that soft spot. Yeah, I love a heel. So I thought he did such a good job, and I had to mention that because
get it out. Yeah,
I was feeling it last night. Okay, I was like Roman, and that's why I even texted you that he was such a beautiful man.
He was. Yeah, I did wake up that text.
He is a beautiful man. So
yeah,